I unmuted the wrong thing. I'll start again. We're going again. What you missed was me saying how tired I was. I'm very tired. It's very early in the morning for me. But wherever you are, good morning, good evening, and good night. I'm saying it all again. You didn't miss anything. I'm saying it all again. And so I said, sorry if there's any scuff, because it's very early in the morning for me. I said that before. I said it when I was muted. And then I said, welcome to the Game Jam. Welcome to the first ever VTuber Game Jam that I'm hosting here. The main headquarters for this Game Jam is the VTuber Game Dev Collective Discord. However, you do not need to be in the Discord to be there. That's just kind of where we're talking sometimes. Don't worry. It's not necessary at all to be there. Don't worry about it, honestly. But if you don't know what a Game Jam is, you just saw that a VTuber you enjoy is going to be part of this thing called a Game Jam. You're like, what the heck is that? I'm just here. I don't really know what's going on. A Game Jam is where you make a game from start to finish in a certain amount of time. You're given a timeline using a given prompt, which is announced at the beginning of the kickoff, which is right now. We're at the kickoff. And Game Jams are usually used as an opportunity to learn something new and expand your skills. It's not like... usually Game Jams have, like, prizes and stuff at the end, but it's not like, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. This one doesn't even have prizes. There's no judging. Decoding my mouth movement. This Game Jam should just be used as an opportunity to maybe get to know some cool VTubers who also do game development and see what kind of things they make and maybe learn something new. Yes, the prize is the friends we made along the way. So a Game Jam doesn't have to be a video game, actually. It could be a card game or a board game, in which case you can just like make a document or a presentation outlining your hypothetical game, especially if you like to focus in design. This might be a good idea if you don't have like a team to help you make stuff. My music isn't playing. Told you there's gonna be scuff. So for our Game Jam, absolutely anyone can participate. There's no sign up. You be here right as you're doing right now, and you find out what the theme is, and then you make a game. There will be a Google form that will be linked in the description of this video immediately after I finish streaming right now. Okay, so like at 7:05 or something, the description of this video will have a Google form in it that after the 24 hours you will submit your game to. That form will be open for, I'll say 48 hours. I'll give you guys a little bit of time to, produce the necessary stuff for the form. You'll see what the form has. It's not too much. There's no prizes, there's no judging, there's no competition here. We're just here to make some friends and meet some people and, talk and stream some cool game development stuff. There's no restriction on the tools or materials you can use. Just try not to use stuff you don't have permission to use. You don't need to be a VTuber to participate. It's just called the VTuber Game Jam because a lot of people hosting and participating are VTubers, but you definitely don't need to be a VTuber to participate. Like I said, the Google form where you will submit a link to your game will be in the description of this video. If this is your very first Game Jam, you're feeling kind of lost, you're like, I saw it, I'm kind of nervous, I've never really made a game, never participated in a Game Jam, here's what you can do. So I highly recommend following some tutorials. So think about what kind of game you want to make after we find out what the theme is. And like go look up some tutorials on YouTube and follow them. Don't be afraid to just follow a tutorial and remake the wheel. Don't worry about it. This is all about education and learning and doing something new that we've never done before. I recommend using a beginner-friendly engine. I linked a whole, you can just Google beginner-friendly engines and there's whole lists and stuff, but a few of the ones that are usually recommended are like RPG Maker, which I'm sure you've heard of. It's also on the Switch, by the way. RPG Maker's on the Switch, which is hilarious. Scratch, which was made by like MIT people to teach programming, but it's doable. It's usable. Or is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. I've used Scratch. It's not too bad. And click Team Fusion, which is Windows only. Apparently, Five Nights at Freddy's was made on it. News to me. Or you can just create a design document with your ideas or concept art. You know, if you're an artist, you can just have like make like a slideshow presentation on Google Docs or whatever, with your concept art and kind of the ideas that you were having, or a design document if you're a designer. Writing document, yeah. Writing dialogue on the Switch sounds like suffering. It does. I haven't played RPG Maker on the Switch yet, but I have it, and I will eventually. It'll happen. So, some tips and tricks. If you're not, maybe you know game development, but you haven't done a game jam. If you're in a team, the first thing you should do before you even start talking about your game is figuring out how you're going to be sending files back and forth, because this will be an issue. It will be an issue, and so you need to figure that out right away. Some good ways to do this would be GitHub if you guys know how to use it, but if you guys have, like, let's say one of you is a programmer and one of you is an artist and one of you is a designer or whatever. You guys have never touched GitHub. You're not really interested in trying to learn how to figure it out. But you're all doing totally separate files, right? There's a really great free program called Resilio Sync that works exactly like Dropbox, but it's free. You will need to be very careful that you don't overwrite each other's work. But Resilio Sync works really well if you guys are all doing separate stuff. And there's, of course, you know, there's good old-fashioned Google Drive. You can just upload your files to Google Drive, but there is a file limit, so. Let's talk about keeping your game scope small. You guys need to, this is a 24-hour game jam. There is not a lot of time. You guys, you're not making an RPG, or you're not making a whole thing here. You're making something very small. Depending on the size of your team, you can kind of, yeah, you can totally team up with yourself. I mean, you don't have to work with someone. It's just a little bit easier because there's such a little amount of time. Define an MVP and stick to it. An MVP is a minimum viable product. That is like the absolute minimum thing you need to have for this to even be called a game. And considering this is a 24-hour game jam, you're not going to get very far beyond that. Trust me. If you can have a playable, runnable game, you have done really well. Don't try to add additional features after the start. We're not doing feature creep here. And the very last thing is, please get some sleep. I will be sleeping. Don't sweat. Don't sweat it. It's a game jam. It's supposed to be fun and silly. If you guys have any questions? If you guys have any questions about what's going on, we have about 8 minutes till we're going to be randomly generating a theme. 1 second, the screen's gonna go weird. By the way, we're randomly generating a theme. The theme won't be VTuber generated, however, or VTuber related. However, next time I think we should do that. I'm bringing up the game jam generator. Let's see. Does the game need to be multi-platform, or is there a platform preference? No. In traditional game jam fashion, if your game only runs on Linux, so be it. If your game only runs on Dreams, which Ozzy's doing, so be it. That's your game. One of the materials we're asking for in the Google form is like a little quote-unquote trailer of your game. So if your game only runs on your computer, at least we can see what it was about, you know? And the trailer doesn't need to be extensive, it doesn't need to have narration, doesn't even need to have sound. We just like to see what your game is about. If you can narrate it and, you know, kind of tell us about your game, that would be cool too. But yeah, the Google form will have a link to if you could make a trailer for us. That would be wonderful. Sleep is not just a myth. You need to sleep, okay? Any other questions? Yeah, so I mean, this is a pretty chill game jam. As most of the game jam, sleep is required. Sleep is required. I'll be asking you how much you slept in the Google form. Not true, but yes, take breaks and stay hydrated. Oh, I meant to include on my list. I mean, it's kind of too late now, but maybe like prepare food ahead of time, and not just snacks too. Take like a really, you know, get good food. DM me on Twitter to get into the Discord. Don't skip the sleep part. Yeah, although I probably won't be responding to DMs regarding the Discord until after the game jam because I'll be working. By the way, if you want to see me stream, I'll be streaming right here on this channel for as much as I can. We'll see how that goes.